Pi House. The reason FVA chose the moniker house for this intriguing housing project is that from a distance, the entire building resembles the Pi Archimedes constant in geometry. Pise Wall was the main source of inspiration for the building of the house. The house's owner, a Frenchman who has spent close to 30 years living and working in Vietnam, served as inspiration for the architectural concept. He is deeply passionate about traditional Vietnamese art and culture. According to the owner's wishes, the house is a lovely fusion of contemporary Western architecture with the timeless beauty of Vietnam. In order to give art decorations a feeling of friendliness and harmony, rustic brick is employed, which is akin to classic French and Vietnamese architecture. We have given the interior of the house a contemporary, stylish, and opulent beauty by rearranging the rustic bricks. The house is located beside the Red River, which has significant historical and cultural significance. The river has been a part of the capital's formation and growth through thousands of years, from Thang Long to Dong Du to Hanoi. The house was built with numerous huge transparent glass windows in French modern style to take advantage of the great location overlooking the Red River and Long Bien Bridge. These windows filled the house with natural light during the day and made it feel spacious at night. When surrounded by a cool natural setting, homeowners can enjoy a view overlooking the Red River without any obstructions. With a pool in the front, the ground level was intended to be a pleasant area for the owners. The first level serves as a gathering place for the entire family and for guests. Each family member's personal space is on the second story. The decorative items are dotted over the first floor's rooms. The interior's vibrant elements give the room a dynamic, inviting appearance. There is a sense of openness and generosity due to the space between the first and second floors and the fantastic waterfront outlook. Cuckoo House. The Cuckoo House, created by Tropical Space in 2018, is a home for 4 people, parents and 2 children, combined with a coffee shop in Da Nang, Vietnam. The project's construction uses local clay bricks, which gives users a sense of familiarity and has an architectural design that resembles a cuckoo clock. 3 blocks make up the cuckoo home, and the buffer layers connect them. These blocks are placed on a base, which is another rectangular block. This building's foundation has a coffee shop with an indoor room and a garden as an outside space. The house's functional sections are divided into the 3 blocks above and connected by partially covered buffer levels. Block A, which has 2 stories, is the master bedroom. The bedroom is on the upper floor, and the bathroom and walk-in closet are on the lower floor. Block B has 2 floors as well. The bedrooms for the children are on the upper floor, while the living area is below. The dining table and kitchen are located in Block C. As a matter of habit, the majority of daily activities take place in practical spaces. To encourage people to leave their rooms and interact with one another, Tropical Space removes the walls that traditionally limit the area and provide a buffer zone. Flexible usage of these buffer layers allows for the connection of the indoor and outdoor areas of the home, enabling family activities to be both private and public. At the same time, the breeze may freely circulate through the house's interior, keeping it cool during the hot, humid summers. children's playground in an urban little house, empty box house. The project provides a young family in a crowded metropolitan region of Ho Chi Minh City with a quality living space that includes a play area, a study area for kids, a parent's workspace, a vegetable garden, etc. The house is also filled with light, trees, and natural ventilation. The house's structure is joined to the playground in front of each floor, and the interior space is divided into two sections. A bedroom, bathroom, and kitchen make up 1/3 of the back area, while a multi-purpose playground and study area, complete with windows and trees, make up the other 2/3 of the front. The empty box has a play area with natural elements including light, trees, and wind. Staggered flooring are produced by the procedure of rising and lowering the floor, and a large, lush tree can be seen from any angle of the home. The parents' workstation and bedroom are connected to the children's play areas, which are all lit by natural light and sound of birds. The use of hollow iron floors allows for simple ventilation of the ground level by light and wind. The empty box home is a design concept that aims to enhance the quality of life for tiny homes in densely populated cities. HC House. A tiny family's residential development in the city of Ha Tin, province of Ha Tin, is called HC House. We created this project by tying together family routines, interests, personality traits, and some recollections of the last home they occupied. This is a townhouse, which is a common design for housing in Vietnam. The only open space is the facade, which measures 7.5 by 19 meters. The designer has difficulties in producing a room that is the most understated and naturally ventilated due to the site-specific constraints. By establishing a central axis with voids throughout the floors, we can connect the interior and outside spaces while bringing light into the home. The public and private areas each receive an equal amount of light. Through the rooftop skylight, a clear sky can be viewed, providing comfort for the user. The proprietor offers in-home lessons and is a teacher. For the pupils to enter and exit the building easily and separately, we built a staircase at the front. Finding an appropriate finishing material that can complement the existing furniture with an open, minimalistic style as connection material is crucial since the client demands that the entire basic furnishings of the current house continue to be used after refurbishment. The crucial component is grindstone flooring, which can unite the components that are both new and old. It is vital to design positions for the plants because the client wants to move them from the current garden to the new home. We are able to construct a green area and preserve an old, familiar garden. The starfruit tree should be situated close to the dining area. The simple space structure, environmentally friendly building materials, and sophisticated construction techniques used to create the HC house were combined with a focus on addressing ventilation issues, such as natural lighting and ventilation, as well as the convenience of using functional spaces both inside and outside. Nonetheless, the design still ensures the required privacy and security. The home is representative of the open, independent living arrangements of young Vietnamese families, in our perspective. Raincoat house. Make a neglected portion of a house into a two-story home with loads of outdoor space. As a witness to the city of Hanoi's rapid urbanization and population increase, the house is situated in a narrow lane. The house on the 80 square meter lot was divided in half, with one half becoming a residence for a young family. When we arrived at the project, the remainder was being abandoned. Make a neglected portion of a house into a two-story home with loads of outdoor space. As a witness to the city of Hanoi's rapid urbanization and population increase, the house is situated in a narrow lane. The house on the 80 square meter lot was divided in half, with one half becoming a residence for a young family. When we arrived at the project, the remainder was being abandoned. A bedroom, a bathroom, and a kitchen are separated on the first level. The house stands out from the nearby tube homes because to the corridor entrance from the alley to the interior, which resembles a buffer area. The office space, laundry room, and tree-filled rooftop yard are all located on the second floor. The kitchen receives an abundance of natural light throughout the day thanks to the perforated metal staircases that connect the first and second floors. To boost light for the green spaces and give the area a larger appearance, translucent corrugated polycarbonate was used for half of the diagonal roof's diagonal surface. One way to think of the roof and the front and rear sides of the current house is as a raincoat that covers it, shielding the walls and slabs from weather-related damage. The raincoat was constructed with steel tube, roofing panels, and wood, common local materials, to make it as light as possible because the original component had been constructed for a very long period and was more or less showing signs of decay. Due to the use of chinaberry wood harvested from the owner's grandparents' yard for the roof structure and certain furniture, the overall cost was significantly lowered. Who thought those trees, which had been grown for many years, would end up as a beautiful present to adorn the grandson's magnificent home? As mentioned, we concentrated on utilizing the available light and space, yet, the finishing materials are not particularly elaborate. When it was finished, the house surprised and delighted not only the owner, but also his neighbors. The Tiamo house. The client wanted a room that looked inward, away from the bustle of the outside world but also remaining near to nature. A component that is essential for an urban living space is a distinct living area with green gardens, aquariums where young family members may view, and close proximity to nature. The few mature trees that do exist on the existing area must be preserved. This is a crucial step in our research procedure. Gradually, a picture of a multi-layered area that extends from the outside to the interior and from the inside to the outside emerges. The spaces are categorized and arranged into horizontal layers of the site from outside to inside, with the first layer consisting of auxiliary spaces like a garage, restroom, stairs, and small gardens. The garage now serves as a large front porch to allow the main space to recede. The second layer is the main living space, which includes the lobby and kitchen guests. The third layer is an extended porch. The last layer is a garden with many trees and a small aquarium. When the extreme weather produces flooding year after year, The design of the elevation for the house is carefully considered and calculated, but it must still adhere to the overall layout of the city. The main home space is raised higher and connected by stairs with only a few steps after the front garden garage area is raised just enough for convenient access. This approach aids while maintaining harmony between the house's inside and exterior. The main area is safe throughout the rainy season. Also more remarkable are the views from inside to outside and outside to within. The major materials used for this project's construction were bare bricks, grindstones, natural wood, and bare concrete because the owner is a photographer with a passion for crafts and raw materials. The home reflects the inhabitants' way of life as well as their concern for the process of building and finishing the home in the best possible way. Tropical Cave House. The mansion, which is in the heart of Bac Ninh City, can accommodate a large family of 4 generations. Its design is motivated by light and spatial effects, which resemble the cave style in a humid subtropical climate, to produce positive and vivid experiences for users' senses. Low, at the entrance, wide and high, inside, narrow, nooks and crannies, open outwardly, door system, even light distribution, outside, gradual darkening, inward, streams of light, from above, alternating vegetation, etc. The proposal, called Tropical Cave, uses void space as a catalyst to build a housing with various layers of shielding walls and connecting areas for wind catch. In order to keep a new voyage of experience with intriguing views and unique sights, the home levels for certain functions are connected at random staircase placements. Moreover, a multi-dimensional transition zone is created, with vegetation alternating between shared, semi-private, and private spaces, plants, vegetables. The 2 huge door systems on the front facade, each with 10 6.6 meters high doors, can be readily opened and shut by hand with the use of a steering wheel and power-assisted steering. In order to provide customers with a tailored perspective and to obfuscate the distinctions between inside and outdoors, architecture and landscape, skylight, door system, and vegetation help adjust microclimate, sunny, rainy, windy, smoggy, noisy. Urban houses are gradually stifling, isolating, and cutting off themselves from friendly ties with the surrounding environment as a result of the ongoing unplanned urbanization, which makes users feel unsafe even while they are in their own accommodations. In order to help people become more aware of the issue at hand and provide with a refuge where they may once again live in harmony with modern architecture, Tropical Cave is presented as a potential solution. Tropical House 1. 6 individuals, divided into 3 generations, were used by RO architects to examine the requirements of the home. Bac Yang City, an industrially focused city in Vietnam, with a very high level of urbanization development. With a tropical monsoon climate and high humidity, the air in northern Vietnam is extremely hot during the summer and icy during the winter. So, in order to solve the intense sunlight in the summer and maintain the heat in the winter, the architects developed a natural approach to living plans for all places. People who reside here will primarily rely on the area. Greenery serves as the primary core that envelops the entire tropically themed home. The first floor courtyards and the connecting area are very adaptable and connected to make it easier for the air to circulate properly and cool all the areas. An open veranda that connects the garden and the parking area leads up to the house, and breaks in the architectural block create gaps in the ground that improve the natural access surface. For the space, nature. Each sleeping area will include at least one distinct garden space so that guests may connect with nature without being exposed to the weather. In the common rooms, users can open the glass to be connected to the tropical gardens. Rain. Every evening or whenever they want, users can unwind next to their garden. The building's architectural facade creates a layer of blue color that is reminiscent of the Vietnamese people's ancestors. This layer of glazing will lessen the sun's intensity of light on the building and also increase more privacy for the layers of living space inside. The garden layer serves as a transitional area between the blue layer and the living areas, partially regulating the microclimate and enhancing the scenery to give people a sense of relaxation. Based on the idea that utilized areas should always have natural lighting and ventilation to guarantee a clean working environment for people. Additionally, gardens with a planted vegetable garden that produces clean veggies for the house will be situated on the top of the roof, where direct exposure to natural light will be provided, improving activities for the elderly and children. Projects that always connect people with nature to the fullest extent will receive consideration from RO. Nguyen House. A son constructed the Nguyen House as a memorial to his parents. The house is situated in a relatively narrow lane in the city of Manh Though. Even though an alley is too narrow for traffic, it always brings the locals closer and makes them friendlier. Small alleys can often bring back memories of growing up in cramped quarters. Alleys that stretch from beginning to end can communicate with one another, and passageways in prime center locations can only notice a motorcycle when it is moving. We can tell how friendly and caring the locals are just by hearing them calling to one another in the alley. The advantage of having more space than other homes in the alley belongs to Nguyen House. At Nguyen House, The distribution of the space structure is always oriented toward the most basic, leaving just enough room for the space to be used. Light, wind convection, and trees are also prioritized over other factors. Our home's floor plan is set up using the height of the floor difference to determine how far apart the spaces are. The light enters the house depending on the changing time of day, since it is maximized in the house by huge doors, atriums in the center, and rooms at the end that are not individually fixed by walls. When it's hot outside, the home virtually never needs to use equipment, since the convection in the air and the winds that flow through the room and the atrium shafts, in the middle, behind, and in front of the building are always the moving points of the house. Directional wind. In order to limit the quantity of sunlight, heat, and fine dust in the air, we arranged a layer of green trees in front of the house's main facade, which faces southwest, where the afternoon sun beams on the sunny and hot side. Trees also provide a sense of comfort inside the home, allowing it to fit in with the surrounding environment. The area is finished with a flight of stairs leading to a terrace. To encourage residents to move more in tune with nature, green pots have been placed at strategic points along the staircase. Villa Connect. Back to reality is the standard when coming up with concepts for designing environments for humans. When you return to reality, you should be able to connect easily with others, with nature, and with yourself. This is a criterion that Connect Villa also uses to build design ideas. Vietnam's Moi City, Thu Dao Mo, Binh Duong Province, is home to the Link Villa project. Grandparents, 2 sons, and spouses are served by Connect Villa. The owner lives a modest life, loves the outdoors, and we design an architecture that makes people want to live in reality in order to foster family harmony. It does not feature an excessive amount of accents, decorations, or remarkable materials and objects to draw people in. If the architecture isn't too starkly minimalistic and people don't feel deprived, they'll have better dreams. You have the actuality of having it all in this interesting architectural environment, just enough for you to get back to Reality. The bedroom's several opening options to the outside make it simple for family members to connect with nature, and is able to open the house's bedroom window thanks to the skylight. The building is positioned far from the street and forms an L shape around the pool, allowing the rooms to have views of the water. Also, the bedrooms can readily see and communicate with one another through the balcony or window. In order to provide each person their own solitude and to connect the floors of the house, skylights on the stairs are skillfully placed so that the bedrooms do not share walls. Using the density and hollowness of architecture to achieve a balance of space and shape, an architecture just enough, a space just enough. Helping people to understand reality and their living environment will enable them to live happily and sustainably with their families. Nam Villa. The project is located in the historic and culturally rich Nam village. A family that has owned the property for 3 generations resides there. The home was constructed with the intention of blending the pastoral vista of the hamlet with the graceful and peaceful mood of the villa as a place of residence for a 70-year-old couple and occasional family get-togethers. Project approach. With a more than 300-year history, Nam village has been able to conserve its distinctive natural beauty with old buildings, old trees, ponds, a courtyard and a communal house, the village entrance gate, and so forth. This group of buildings, a classic example of northern architecture, is linked to the culture, emotions, and early years of both the villagers and the members of the owner's family. The architect set out to design a space for housing where traditional values may be transcended in a modern manner while yet fitting in with its surroundings and the family's preferences. Project approach. With a more than 300-year history, Nam village has been able to conserve its distinctive natural beauty with old buildings, old trees, ponds, a courtyard and a communal house, the village entrance gate, and so forth. This group of buildings, a classic example of northern architecture, is linked to the culture, emotions, and early years of both the villagers and the members of the owner's family. The architect set out to design a space for housing where traditional values may be transcended in a modern manner while yet fitting in with its surroundings and the family's preferences. General planning solutions. 200 square meters is the total ground area. Lower the overall construction size, its impact on the traffic flow, and its direct line of sight. The establishment of a central garden. Resolution type for the region. The overall ground space, which must accommodate user needs, is about 200 square meters. The entire region was separated into two main residences by architects in order to interact with traffic routes and lower the volume of the entire development. The house conforms to its surroundings by using the same worn-out tiles as other local buildings. Exploiting the main wind flow is a challenge that is also solved by this area planning. BB layout and surrounding performance. The building's long frontage and shallow depth put it relatively near to the land's baseline, leaving little room for greenery. The architect changed the elevation and built a landscape axis that connects the interior and exterior greenery and unifies the two rooms. Although preserving its interior privacy, this design of spaces aids in releasing direction from the inside of the house to the surroundings outside. Space arrangement and connecting strategy. The public zone and the sleeping area are the two primary functional zones. The central garden divides them, and a long hall with a veranda connects them. This is also a characteristic of northern architecture. In order to provide seclusion in the home and add a sense of tenderness to the space intersections, loggias were positioned between the various zones of the house. Two enormous clear spaces in particular were included in the interior design, tranquil. The first is a tube space that is cut through both stories of the living room to clear the air volume and connect the upper space at the children's bedroom by an arched window that is a metaphor for a bird nest. The noise of kids running around and adults in the family talking creates a fun sound effect in this space. The central garden comes in second. While maintaining the solitude of the primary bedroom area, this space firmly links other rooms together as a whole. This area serves as the home's colorful backdrop and creates a region where natural light can enter the home freely. Every member of the family felt the warmth of the sun's rays as they lazily laid on the leaves. These loggias and the main hall reportedly form an intriguing network of rooms while maintaining the privacy of every room in the house. Materials. The villa's construction used exposed concrete, wood, rock and stone, and roof tiles, giving it a rustic and peaceful atmosphere. The focal point of the entire structure is a wall covered in yin-yang tiles, which gives it a distinctively traditional feel. Microclimate control. The central garden serves as a ventilation system for the entire structure, generating the inner flow of natural wind, in addition to linking and greening the area. This technology optimizes energy efficiency while also enhancing the indoor environment. The house has been given airy spaces to avoid direct western sunlight thanks to the veranda, roof tiles, sun louver system, and loggias. House in Nguyen. The home, which was built from an ancient garden, embodies the owner's way of life and offers more adaptable living quarters for the teacher husband and wife and their large family, which also includes their sister and kids. Sometimes. Currently, a retired doctor owns the business. The half-moon pond with a mountain miniature, numerous bonsai pots, the front flower garden built by grandfather, and the back vegetable garden developed by grandma, were the focal points of the ancient garden. The new garden is built on two new half-moon curves that meet at two locations, along with two centers, and form a square in the middle of the property that is the footprint of the new house. The back half of the second half-moon becomes a more inner yard, acting as an extension of the kitchen and connecting to the vegetable garden, while the front half of the first half-moon becomes a pond to the south, inviting the cool wind to breeze in. A flower garden and a path leading to the house's entrance are located in front of the pond. Two primary sections are connected by a circular aperture inside the house. The primary area on the first level is divided into a stair, a common room, and a worship room, whereas the major space on the bottom floor can be roughly translated as 1, 2, 3, or 4 rooms. The major spatial axis connecting the aquatic landscape front to the ambient light flowing from the north through the skylight window extends this worship chamber to the vacant space below through the circular opening. Around this main axis, bedrooms and other supporting spaces are arranged in a L pattern. The expansive shoreline to the south stabilizes the house's microclimate, keeping it cool in the summer and warm in the winter, in addition to providing an amazing visual impression. The interior of the house can be made sufficiently bright or dark to provide comfort and privacy if it has a large tile roof, numerous layers of insulation, and the proper proportionate doors and windows. Each main area has a central column that, in an abstract way, evokes the garden's trees and gives the impression that the family is residing beneath the branches. The garden is an addition to the house, and the house is an addition to the garden.